Apologies about that, everybody. I forgot to adjust the volume before we started. So, anyway, hello, everybody. This is Adam, the Dabbling Warlock, and today we are going to be doing day 27 of the Learn to Draw in 30 Days challenge. So, you might be asking yourself, what are we doing today? Well, today we are going to be drawing a pole with a sign, um, with a hanging sign in 2-point perspective. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the base of our pole. And then we're going to go ahead and draw the verticals. Like that. And if you're let's see. Probably didn't need to do that, but I didn't want to have to reline it twice. Okay. So there we go. And let me just clean that up. Yeah. I can fix it. I can fix that. No problem. Alright, so... Ooh, that's still a little loud. There we go. Okay. So, if you're not using like a program that has 2-point perspective tools or perspective tools at all in it, what you can do is one of the things I said is that all you really need is like a piece of paper or some kind of straight edge, and you can draw this. So, sorry, I woke up not too long ago, so I'm still waking up. Most of the time, I'm a bit of a night owl, so most of the time I'm more awake in the afternoons than I am in the mornings, or at least I'm able to form more coherent sentences anyway. So all you really need to do is, if you remember when we started drawing stuff in 2-point perspective yesterday, um, I think it was yesterday. So same as 1-point perspective, you draw your horizon line and then you put your vanishing points on it. And what you want to do is that anything in the horizontal plane is going to go towards those vanishing points. So like any parallel line, so lines that are parallel with these two are going to go towards this vanishing point over here, and lines that are parallel with these two are going to go to the vanishing point over here. As a matter of fact, let's bring that back. So we can... That was not perfectly aligned like I wanted it to be. There we go. There we go. And that's close enough, so I'm just going to turn that off a little bit for a second. Well, I make these a lot shorter because I don't need to make them that big. And then we can make a little bit clearer what we're doing. Okay. Okay, so there we go. All right, so back to our sign. So to make the hanging sign, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line out here. And what this is going to be the basis for our for the bit that the hanging sun's going to be hanging off of. But before we get to drawing that, I want to I do want to zoom in here. So one of the things about a lot of drawing tools is, especially when you're using them with a pen tablet, is that they have like a minimum distance. Wrong direction. They have a minimum distance that you have to go in order to in order for the stroke to register. So that's the reason I'm having to zoom in like this. If you're drawing using a pencil and paper, this is not a problem you have to worry about. This is a problem I have to worry about though. So, so don't worry, you don't have to get like right scrunched up right close to your paper. Um, just you probably do want to make the lines fine enough to where like if you're doing like fine details like this, um, they're very close together. Okay, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll just okay. And we'll go ahead and just erase that. And then bring this back so we can I didn't get that exactly perfect, but that's okay. Alright, so we're just gonna clean some of this up real quick. Since we're zoomed in here. Anyway. Okay. Okay, and while we got this turn, actually, probably need to turn that back on. So this is the line for our pole. What I want to do is find where the center is. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so I'm going to need to zoom out so I can see the whole thing. So so we're just going to lightly draw the line there. I'm also trying to do this a little bit quickly because I do have it is Thanksgiving here in the US, and I do have something that's on a little bit of a timer. I am making rolls today. Alright, so alright, there we go. Okay. Um, and that's currently going, and the dough's currently going through its first rise. And when I made these last time, it only took about an hour for it to get doubled. So, just trying to be quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom back in. Alright, so probably didn't need to zoom in that far, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a spot, undo. All right, so we're going to call that the center. Okay, so that's going to give us height. And pretty much everything we need in order to lay stuff out. And I think what I want to do is not make it that big, but okay. Okay, so that's about how far I want it from the edges. So let's go ahead and get that right there. Swing that around. All right, then we'll pop back over here. And you don't have to do all this that I'm doing. I'm just doing it because I'm persnickety like that. Okay, there we go. That gives us this. And because we have our, and because this is the halfway point, we also have our center line. Come back here. Oh, wait, I didn't even have to do that. So, okay, so, and there's our vertical right there. Okay, so we can exit out of that. And then we're just going to draw our so that's the end of our cylinder, or the pole, and then we can just draw it out like so. All right, there we go. All right, so we can go ahead and get rid of that, and then we can draw it like that. And I think what I'm gonna do is I think I am going to be swapping to a different layer. Okay, but in the meantime, all right, so this is the bottom edge. So what we can do is, yeah, let's go out here. So we're just going to make a mark there, and then come way out here, make a mark here. And that's going to be where our sign hangs from. So make that a little wider. And then we'll just draw this down like that and like that. And voila. Okay, there's our sign. And so we have everything done. So I'm just going to zoom out real quick. And we're going to lower the opacity on this. And add a new layer. And we're going to get rid of that real quick. and zoom out a little bit more. So we can bring our ruler, and we're just going to line this up with the vanishing point, like so. And then, oh right, I forgot. Ruler doesn't go with the canvas. Okay. That's annoying. Okay, there we go. And we're going to swap to a different color. And we're just going to right up to that edge. Alright, there we go. And now we can go back to our perspective tool to draw in the rest of this. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is hold off on that for just a second. We are going to draw over this. And then okay, now we're going to go back to our perspective tool. And we're just going to okay. Yeah, I think that one's a little big. Okay, so we'll just try our best to get this cleaned up a little bit. Same over here. All right, there we go. All right, so we can zoom out for the rest of this. I think let's start with these. There we go. And then All right, there we go. And let's go ahead and make this thicker. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to pop back over to this layer and switch back to our original color. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put some guidelines here. And actually, that's a little too tall. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. Okay, so we got some guidelines. Now we can swap. Turn that off. All right. And I'm just going to do a D. So first two letters of my first name. And we'll just clean this up. All right. And yeah, we're just going to all right, and there we have it. There's our poll in 2-point perspective with a hanging sign. So that's going to be it for today. I hope y'all have, if you're in the U.S., I hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. If you're somewhere else, I hope you still have a wonderful day. And it's never a bad idea to remember what you have to be thankful for. I'm thankful that I do have a job that gives me free time to pursue things like getting back into drawing. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that God has blessed me in many incredible ways, and I really should remember to be more thankful. Because it's not everyone has that, and to be honest, even here in the U.S., even a lot of the people who are not in good places do have it a lot better than other people. So yeah, I'm thankful that I live in such a great country. For all its flaws, for all its faults, I do think the United States is a wonderful country to live in, and I am thankful and proud to be a citizen here. And honestly, I think we could all use we could all use a bit more mindful thankfulness, a bit more mindful gratitude in our lives, because it helps put things into perspective. I think for most of us, we'd find that our blessings far, far outweigh the troubles and tribulations that we have. I'm not saying that they aren't real. I'm not saying that they're not problems, but dwelling on those things constantly is wearing. It's not good for our mental health. And honestly, we get bombarded with it. So, so maybe it's me just shouting at the void. Maybe it's me just railing against the way things are. But I one of the reasons I did this was to kind of push back against that. To remind people, hey, you can do things. You're more capable than you think you are. You're more, um, your limitations are more mental than physical. Your limitations are more about a mindset rather than not being born with the right, whatever. Talent, talent's overrated. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. And remember, remember to hug your families and love one another and be thankful for the blessings that you have in your life, however many or few they may be. Um, just because there's only a few of them doesn't make them any less doesn't make those blessings any less. They should be cherished all the more because of it. Anyway, this is the Dabbling Warlock, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving.